Alright folks, this is one big bugger. I'm going to start this vlog off because I got a lot to talk about by saying I'm not going to say anything about either streaming or recording videos again. Um, I don't know. That's all there is to it. I don't know. I know there's only a few of you that watch this. Maybe I could do it again someday. Maybe I'd get fans again someday. I don't know. But right now, um, I just I've got so much going on that by the time I get home, all I want to do is rest. And particularly now that I'm in my second year with my school bus company, yeah, I'm sorry for the shiny forehead. I should probably have a hat on. Um, oh, as a matter of fact, give me one moment. I'm sorry, but I'll ball ahead. So let me do this real quick. I mean, it may not be much better. It's still pretty bright white, but it's better than shining off my forehead. First off, as you can see there, I apologize for the tainness of my microphone. It's my new headset. Come on in if you want. This is my girlfriend of going on 6 years now. Actually, past 6 years, I think. This is Chana.
Hi.
And she does live here now. I'm going to go more into that later. Um, yeah, but when it comes to streaming, I really can't say yes or no what I'm going to do. Secondly, again, like I said, I apologize for the tinniness of the microphone. These are Razer headsets. I'm a Logitech person, but these were really good price and they have a really good sound. I'm not fond that they're wireless, but I keep them plugged in, so it's fine. But yes, I did get a new computer. That's why I'm sitting in a new spot. I've given my girlfriend my old computer, which is still pretty powerful. So she's using that. Um, I can show you my new computer, and I actually need to turn my camera this way so I don't accidentally show you something I'm not supposed to. But there it is under the book there. You're not really going to get to see the front too much. But she is a powerhouse. That's an Intel iCore 9 in there, the best that you could get off CyberPower. It has 32 gigs of DDR4 or DDR5. I think maybe DDR5 RAM. It's got 3 hard drives. It's got two 1 terabyte solid state drives and one 3 terabyte storage drive. It's got a 2080 Ti NVIDIA graphics card. It's got a 1000 watt power core. It's got I forget what the motherboard. It's an Asus motherboard. Um, there's really I built it to last for a little while, and yes, it is a cube. So I thought the cube was really cool the way it looked. It has a stand where you can sit it on, and it'll be sideways on, at an angle. And it does look really cool, but because it's a cube rather than the standard rectangle, like other computers, it actually ends up taking up more room on the back of my table. So it's a give and take. And it's also heavy. Oh my god, that thing weighs 50 plus pounds by itself. But as many of you know, I've gotten a... Oh, of course, now it's too high. Oh, just screw you. Oh, shush.
Yeah.
But as many of you know, I got a new truck. It's a 2019. I want keep wanting to call it Dodge, but they're not Dodge anymore. It's a Ram Laramine 1500, white with a kind of a sports front to it. Um, it's got a little over 20,000 miles on it now because I recently took it up to Minnesota on a road trip to bring my girlfriend back. Um, and recently I've dressed it up. I don't have pictures of it right now, but it's got a bug shield on it. It's got rain shields on it, the side rain guards on the windows. It's got mud flaps, a bed cover, side rails, otherwise known as Nerf bars, you step up bars. And it's also got a safety cage or a safety rack on the back protecting the rear window. So it looks actually really nice. It looks like a truck in my opinion right now. I got some decals I'm going to put on it because, well, let's face it, I don't own a vehicle without decals anymore. And yeah, that's going to be it, you know. And I'm really enjoying it. It does go through gas like I go through most food. Uh, well, I'm not that bad, and my sleeve still is in effect to some degree, but it goes through gas pretty quickly. But it didn't do too bad, nothing compared to what my Camry would have done. But coming back from Minnesota while towing a trailer, it probably did around 225 or so dollars in gas. The only reason there was like 300 something on my card because I zeroed out my card before I left was tolls. Uh, almost more than three-quarters of the trip back, you're paying tolls. From Illinois on, you're paying tolls. You can see my boy Bruce back there. His tail's down. He's a little tucked. If he looks a little off, he just got back from the vet. I have finally gotten him snipped. And it was hilarious because when the vet said, "Can you just lift him up? Because I want to see what's under there." And she goes, "Oh, he's got a giant pair of balls." And yeah, well, he actually did. They were big for a Chihuahua. He would have been quite the stud had I ever bred him. So he's still getting over that. He's moving around a little bit more. I just gave him his pain medication for the day. He won't get it again until tomorrow night around 4 o'clock, 4:30. So he's moving around a bit more. He's coming around a bit. He's still groggy from the anesthesia, so all he wants to do is sleep. But he really didn't even want to walk. I waited a little bit too long to give him his pain medication, and I kind of picked up on that. So I gave it to him, and he's doing well now. But yes, I've burned through a good portion of my settlement. So be it. I never said I was good with money. You can see one of the purchases out there in the hallway, that being that grandfather clock. I got that for my mother. She's always wanted one. It's not a really high-end grandfather clock. It's not weight driven. The weights are there just to counterbalance the pendulum. There is some cheapness to it. There is some solidness to it. It's kind of a middle of the road clock. I got it for $400. Um, I would have rather got the other clock I was looking at for $350 that was weight driven and did Westminster chimes rather than just bong on the half hour and on the hour. But I wasn't able to get it before I left for Minnesota to go and get my girlfriend. So be it. But yes, 2 weeks ago, I road tripped out to Minnesota, and I spent about a little less than a week. It was 6 days that I was there. I was gone for like a total of 10, but that's 2 days traveling up, 2 days traveling back. That's 4 days, and then 6 days there. And eventually, I packed her up, which I'm not going to go into that horror story, and used a small U-Haul trailer, 5x8 U-Haul trailer, and brought her back, unpacked her, and she does live here now. And actually, one of the experiences we're going to have together, and it's my last big purchase for a long time, is I want to check in on June 17th. I'm scheduled for June 18th, but I'm going to call after something else that's going on, and I'm going to change it to June 17th and check out on the 26th of June. We are going to Orlando, Florida, and we've got 3 days. We got 3 days at Disney, 2 days at Universal, so that's five, and then one day where we can just chill out and maybe experience the hotel that we're in because we're staying at the Holiday Inn Hotel and Water Park. Um, we have a two-room luxury room where we got a little living room, little kitchenette. It doesn't have a stove in it, but it does have a microwave, has a refrigerator and a sink, and then the bedroom separate. So that's really nice. So we got that. And then we also have 2 days at Universal Studios. Now, Universal Studios has three parks, but I think we can do two in one day and then one in the other, or we'll just choose one and just end up not doing it, whatever the case may be. We also have the park hopper option. We also have Fast Pass. I mean, this is about a $3,000 trip. I have not yet fully decided if I want to fly down and rent a vehicle or take my truck down, because while we're down there, we're going to go visit my father in Fort Myers, which is about another 3-hour drive. Again, why I want an extra day or two. Um, go see my father down there, and um, my mind just went blank for a second. Spend some time with him, and I want him to see my truck. My father's not coming up here this year. My father's getting older. Traveling is a little bit more difficult for him, but it is a lot more difficult for his wife, who's starting to have more problems. She is significantly older than him. I think she's 80 now, and he's well, not like significant, not like how significantly older I am than her, but you know, she's it's like close to 10 years difference between the two of them. So it's a bit more difficult. And Marilyn wants that's my dad's wife, Marilyn. She wants to go somewhere this year where um, they can just go and have fun rather than come up here. Because when they come up here to visit, it's like they need a vacation from their vacation. It's one of those deals. Um, because they end up trying to meet everybody else. It's on everybody else's schedule. She's got all these people she's got to visit. My dad's got people he's got to visit, including myself. And they really get little time to herself. So I said, Dad, just go. Just take her somewhere and just go. Okay? I'll come to see you this year. And I decided to do the Disney vacation. I was just going to go down to Fort Myers in that area and spend a little time down there. But I said, well, fuck, I'm going to be in Florida. I might as well take this opportunity while I have the money and go to Orlando. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to Orlando and enjoy Disney for probably the only time in my life. At $3,000 for the visit. Yeah. Um. So there's that. Unfortunately, life is trying to put a very big wrench in everything. Um, a few unexpected costs have come up, but I've been handled them well. I still have around $8,500 in my account. It's going to be a little over 9,000 come tomorrow because I get a deposit tomorrow from work. I'm not Ubering right now. I don't have to. I'm making more than enough money. Work is going to slow down on the school bus side right now, but we'll pick back up in April as summer sports kick in. That's Cat's um, hoodie. And yeah, I went to see Cats, and unfortunately, she wasn't here for it. I went to the Boston Opera House to see it. But anyways, um, stop making me lose track.
Sorry.
But life has tried to throw a big wrench into this because she's only been here a couple weeks. And sombering news is that she ended up getting a call from a family member that told her the father was trying to get a hold of her, um, which I found unusual that her dad would be trying to call her like that. And I started having a fear of what it was, and it turned out to be true. Her mother wasn't feeling well. Her dad left her to rest downstairs when she went to rest, and when he came back, she was gone. That happened this past Sunday. We are flying out to Minnesota tonight. Well, tomorrow morning. I say tonight. We got the 6 a.m. Flight out, and we're going to Minneapolis. We're going to pick up a rental and then drive the 3 hours down to her little hometown. Take a little bit of time to freshen up real quick and go directly to the wake and the funerals the next day. Then we're going to be there for 5 more days after the funeral to try and help close things up because the mother had a consignment shop, some other stuff that needs to be done. So we're going to try and do that. It's a very tumultuous time to say the least because, you know, it's bad enough. all this, but then I think of her father who had to deal with his youngest daughter finally moving away, and unlike the rest of the family members, which were kind of local, they none of them were too far away. She's moved, to the East Coast. She's moved into a different time zone by an hour, so she's pretty far away. So it's bad enough that it just came down to him and his wife, but now suddenly, and if somebody has experience with the sudden loss of a spouse, you guys know I do, he's by himself in a very big house. So yeah, there's a lot to think of right now. There's a whole lot to think of. No, she's not gonna stay there as we know of right now. She's coming back, but I'm just saying, you know, I can see the dad just going on living solo for his life and kind of just suffering in silence because he seems to be that kind of guy. He's soft spoken, but you can tell he's a very hardy man, both physically and emotionally. You have to be hardy to live out in Minnesota. There's no joke about that. You can say how hardy whatever New Englander you want to talk about. Maybe if you go up to Vermont, New Hampshire, but I'm sorry, from the Massachusetts line down, winter has become a joke. It's not the New England I remember, but I don't want to go into that. You have to be a very hardy person living up there, and he lives in a very. It's not like he lives in a big town with a lot of neighbors. Where he lives, there's only like a couple hundred people at most, John, and they're all spread out. Because it's all farmland down there. So he's got like maybe one or two people that live around him, and I never even saw them if there is. If they're, the people that live, I never even saw them. Um, so yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty rough right now. Shauna has the luxury of distance between her and reality, but that's going to fade very quickly, and it's going to be very hard again for somebody who has experienced loss suddenly, and as a spouse, losing a parent suddenly and very unexpectedly is something else as well. So runs this basically the same line. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot to deal with. And we're doing our best. I am not fond of having to leave my mother behind, not quite by herself, but with nobody living in the house. You know, there's going to be nobody else here. The upstairs neighbor's going to come down and check on her once or twice a day. There may be somebody that comes and stays with her for a little while, a few days here and there, or maybe a couple days over the week, and to help keep the house clean. But the fact that nobody's going to be here living uh, really kind of bothers me. But there's nothing I can do. I'm not letting her go back. I'm not letting my girlfriend go back alone. And she's not in any state to do it, and she's only traveled once by herself as it is. Uh, so yeah, like I said, this is a lot. We're gonna. I've cleaned up the rooms. You can actually see the mop bucket and brooms back there. I've cleaned those up. Got a little bit more tidying to do. Got some laundry to swap over and finish. We got to shower up. We're gonna straighten up this room, pack our bags so that everything's as clean as we can make it when we go. Get the trash out in the barrels, empty everything down. Try to as much as ground zero as we can. So that way there's really not much for anyone to do. I suppose maybe a little bit of better news is that we're working on getting some furniture, some shelves and hutches and whatnot for the back room, and I'm going to remove my adult figurines from in here. I still going to keep what I have. I don't know if I'm going to collect any more, but I'm keeping what I have. Um, I just don't feel they're proper to have in here anymore with my girlfriend here. She doesn't mind, but I do. Um, and on top of that, if I accidentally get them in a video and I don't catch that, that could be, my YouTube channel. Which, even if I don't do much with it, it could still be my ass, basically. So I don't want that to happen. Plus, I'd like to show you guys. Oh, Carmen fell over.
Who? Where?
My
Oh.
yeah, Carmen San Diego. Plus, I want to show you guys my collection. It's not huge, not by any stretch of the imagination, but
It's bigger than mine.
well, no, it's not. It's not even that. I think it's really cool. I have. I just recently picked up Ultra Instincts Goku. I'm not huge on Dragon Ball, but I like Ultra Instincts Goku. I have several Vegeta statues. I have a couple Harley Quinn. One of them is kind of a little bit like the Harley from Birds of Prey. And I got another Harley that looks like she's more out of Injustice. Got a couple Android 18s. I just picked up the GameStop up here in Franklin's closing. GameStop's closing left and right. I don't think it's going to last much more. But I've got I just picked up Dracula. I have Maleficent. I have problems with her name sometimes. I got my Edward Newgate, otherwise known as Whitebeard from One Piece. I love Whitebeard. I still have like Sabo and Ace down there. I've got multiple All Mights.
Six.
Uh,
Happen to pick up the little keychain.
yep, I've got.
8 with the fig pin.
I got a couple Brolys. I've got some Overwatch figurines, just because I did play a little bit, and there's some I like, which is Zarya, Roadhog, Winston, and I always forget the Orisa. That's it. I've got them. I've got Golden Frieza, who I think is pretty cool.
I think we got Kratos.
Yeah, I got a little Kratos statue.
Hellboy.
I got a little tiny Hellboy thing. I know. I've got from the Spider-Verse. I've got the Noir Spider-Man. I've got Ronin from Avengers. I've got Super Saiyan God. Uh, I think it's Gogeta. It's Super Saiyan God SSJ 4. I believe it's Gogeta. Because his hair is red. I also have SSJ for Vegeta, just solo. And then up the top is my collection of, except for the ones that won't fit up there, which is Edward, Sabo, and Ace. I have my One Piece, because One Piece is my favorite anime of all times now. One character whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've got Zoro, Usopp, Jinbei, Law, I've got a Luffy, Nami, Pirate Nami, and I got my big Kingpin up there. I call him King just because he's a huge statue compared to the rest. Frankie! But yeah, that's my One Piece. I'm missing a couple more. Oh, I have, did I say I have Sanji? Because I have Sanji up there as well.
Yeah, you said Sanji.
I'm missing a couple, obviously. I'm missing Robin, and I'm missing Robin, Chopper, and the skeleton, Brooke. I'm missing Brooke. But I really don't have much more room.
I don't know if you mentioned the,
I don't need to mention everything, sweetie.
No, the Joker from...
Yeah, I got a Christmas Joker statue, and it's not a figurine, it's a legitimate statue. The thing weighs about, I'd say 10 pounds.
You could clock somebody with that,
And once I get my adult figurines out of here, I'll be able to have more room to put my statues.
And shift people around.
And oh yeah, I also have a Scottish Santa with a beer. Because you got to have a Scottish Santa with a beer.
I have a feeling that once you get your adult statues out,
yeah.
Probably like...
And I got a little bit more back there. Back there's a little bit more miscellaneous. I've got my mugs. My smaller,
Oh yeah, you have Sora.
what are they? I got my smaller, um, not crackers. I also have my large fig pins back there, which is All Might, Broly. No, it's not All Might. It's Thanos. New Broly, All Might, Old Broly, and then the Saiyan Gorilla. Vegeta is the Saiyan Gorilla. I've also got a couple little cars back there, little
Smaller fig
collectible
pins.
stuff. I don't know why my RAM is turned around, but whatever. I'll deal with it later.
We
Probably
also got
fell.
a couple of die, or like the D&D dice.
Yeah, we've got some D&D die, but I'm talking collectibles. I got my Star Wars Evil Pez dispensers. I also got Gypsy Avenger up there. That big stuffed animal you see down bottom with the gaping mouth. That's actually Fizzgig from the Dark Crystal. And then I just got a random teddy bear with the reverse V mask.
Yes, V for Panda.
Anonymous mask. And my girlfriend's got her stuff. You can't see it off camera over there. She's got a little collection. She's got a bunch of stuffed animals and stuff in the other room. I got my main Nutcracker collection over there. You know, I'd like to show you guys these things, but I definitely got to clean up the room first.
Oh
But
wait, Zim fell over.
I've got, like I said, I got a Switch now too. But it's actually I bought it for her, but of course we both use it. Her more than me, and I've got my PlayStation. You know, things have gone quite well. I actually got a second monitor for my computer, but fitting it on this desk is proving to be a little bit more of a pain in the ass.
We've tried several things.
No, I
Why the
can.
book was on the
No, I can
computer.
do it. I can do it. I just got to clean up and not be doing 900 other things. Yeah, so I'm getting to look forward to leaving at 2 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
to go.
sleep for the no sleep for the wicked.
Yeah, leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning to be at Logan by 3. I know that puts us 3 hours before the flight leaves, but the airport opens around 5, so it puts us 2 hours. And I didn't get like extra speed. I didn't get. Um, we're in main cabin. We're not in Comfort Plus, which is what I'd usually do. So yeah, it is what it is. I've got new glasses coming soon. Unfortunately, I'll be in Minnesota when they show up. They're supposed to be on the 12th. I got nice new glasses coming. I got my girlfriend here new glasses. I got Chana new glasses coming. I also got her hair cut because she's getting ready to work once we get all the stuff in that we need.
It may be a while because
Yeah,
driving record.
I know. For whatever reason, Minnesota decided to centralize all of its record requests into one building. Used to be you could just go to your local sheriff's office to get a background report, or you could go to a DMV to get your driving record. Nope, not anymore. Now you have to send a letter plus a check or go in person to St. Paul. So if you're not like near St. Paul, forget it.
It would take months.
And then I called no, it would take, I'm talking hours of driving to get to St.
That too,
Paul.
but it would be months.
No, I'm getting to shush. Um, but I called up the office that does the DMV records, and I asked them, we got the criminal record already. How long does the driving record take? Oh, well, we're still working on the request from mid-December. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in March, and they're working on December. Are you... If it's going to take 3 months for them to go through the request and get them here, I'm afraid I'm going to have to... She's going to have to get a part-time job somewhere, like a convenience store or something.
That's what we've been saying.
I know, I just didn't think it would take that long to get a fucking driving record. I want my driving record. I just go over to Attleboro and the DMV, walk up and go, can I have my driving record? Thank you. Gone.
Serve it to you on a silver platter too, why don't you?
I could literally drive from here to St. Paul, walk into the office, get your driving record, drive all the way back, and save months. Just cost a hell of a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of time, because apparently if you drive there, it'd be a 2-day drive.
Well, it's a 22-hour drive. Although to Orlando, it's only 18.
Yes.
Hey, I did from here to Atlanta, which was a 16-hour drive. It's only about 2 hours more. If we leave at night, like I said, and we drive about 6 hours, that only leaves 12. And when we woke up coming back from Minnesota after our first night's drive, I
Yeah.
drove a good 14, 15 hours.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
So there is that.
And there's the fact that I would have driven at some point, but
I changed my mind. Plus, we were towing a trailer.
that too.
Yes, I have taken the country girl from the country and dropped her not exactly in the city, but we do have things called highways.
Yeah.
Where she drove is a lot of very long, straight roads where you might come across a car every, I don't know, odd full moon.
Unless you're coming from bigger towns.
Yeah, you can get to some of the bigger towns, but for the most part, even in the bigger towns, there's not a lot of traffic. There really isn't.
So yeah, huge difference between where
That
I
and
originally lived to
yeah,
here.
there's a big difference between that and 495. I told her I'd take her up to Boston one day to see a show, and I'm just gonna hop on the passenger side and tell her get us home.
Do that. I will fucking kill you.
Set the GPS, get us home, sweetie.
I only driven once because he fell ill while we were out in the mall.
You did fine, other than the fact that you kept trying to fade so far to the right, you were scaring me. Sweetie, a little bit more to the left. Stay in the center of the lane, please.
Hey, you can't blame me for being a little more cautious when it came to
You
a
were
rental.
you were so cautious, you almost getting us into an accident driving off the road. Well,
Hey, I did a good job of keeping us on the road anyway.
only because I kept telling you, get off the line.
No, I was fine.
Yeah, you were fine, all
I
right.
was fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
The
Yep.
rental was not as big as a pickup.
Nope.
The only time I ever got to drive a pickup was in my area.
And I got to admit, I love my pickup, despite the gas usage. I love it. I love getting up on the highway and just punching it down every so often and listen to that big V8 open up.
Dang it, that just reminded me of what happened the first time I actually tried to drive. I forgot to put it into gear.
Okay, you will. Let me tell you a story. And I know this is going off the rails, but let me tell you a story. You will never be as bad as this girl was. I was in driving school when this happened, and I drove just fine. I was a very confident driver from the get-go. And there was another girl with us that was training as well, and we drove to this third girl's house to pick her up. That's just how it worked. They'd drop you off within the training, and students would ride in the back. So I hopped in the back with the other girl, and you don't need seatbelts in the back seat if you're an adult. That's still a law today in Massachusetts. No, if you're in the back seat and you're 18 or over, you don't need a seatbelt. And this girl and I didn't have a seatbelt. And the girl gets in. Oh, have you ever driven before? No. Have you driven strictish? No. Okay, so you'll be fine. He says, so okay, go ahead, back out. Vroom. Car doesn't move. He says, put it in reverse and back out. Puts in reverse. Vroom. Car lurches but doesn't move. Take off the emergency brake and back out. Oh, takes off the emergency brake. Vroom. Backs up. Turns. Yep. That's my mom. That's Gigi, and you should already know Joy. Yes, Mom, stop being a goofball and go use the bathroom. Mother's doing what mothers do. So anyways, she backs out and he says, okay, go ahead and pull forward. She pulled right back into the driveway. At that point, the girl and I in the back looked at each other and simultaneously reached over our shoulder, grabbed the seatbelt, and went click. Hey, but everyone has a driving story. Mine's short and sweet. My driving instructor told me, take a right-hand turn at the stop sign. I did. I didn't stop. He said, I told you to take a right-hand turn at the stop sign. Yeah, but you didn't say stop.
Common sense. Stop at a stop sign, then take a right turn.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just did it, and you could see my instructor doing this as the sign went by.
And then there's me. It took me 3 tries, driving-wise, just to get my license.
And she's going for a Class B CDL to drive a school bus. She's afraid to drive on the highway with my pickup truck. She's going to be doing that with a school bus. Confidence. You have confidence.
You have confidence where I need to have confidence, and right now it's gone.
Well, you need to have confidence.
Hey,
He's
Papa.
sweet. Relax.
Yeah, good girl. Good girl.
Yeah, she needs a little bit of attention because Bruce has been getting a lot of attention because he just got back. He's not, obviously, he's got the effects and what of the anesthesia still, so he's sleeping right now, so she can get a little bit of affection here. I said her.
I can still be your little goofball.
I know. So I know I actually managed to somehow condense a lot of information into a very short amount of stuff.
Short.
Well, my videos tend to run upwards of an hour when I talk.
Oh dear lord.
Keep going. Keep going. Bye.
I turn slowly. Give me a minute.
But I'm the type of person that likes other people to have stuff, not just me. And I've always, my mother's always had to make do with secondhand stuff and free stuff and all that. Well, I went out and she still got some secondhand stuff, but I went out and bought a brand new giant sectional, which she's always wanted a sectional. She must have heard something. I'll put her down. Or she thinks mom's got food, one or the other. She's not barking, so it has to be food. I did. I bought her a giant sectional, big 2-piece sectional. I bought a big, it's one of those fake fireplaces, the plug-in fireplaces. We don't use the heat on it. We have gas heat in the house, and if we use that, it'd drive the electric through the roof at the same time. But she just likes the flames. So I had to buy a 72-inch one, because it's a big cabinet. So it's got a couple drawers, a couple cabinets, a shelf in the middle, and then the fireplace, which took 4 hours to assemble with the two of us working at it. Because on top of that sits a 65-inch 4K HD television. My mom a huge television that she can see very easily. And actually, we've got a giant living room, so it looks good. And then, of course, the grandfather clock to round out the living room. And it looks really nice now, There's not much I can do about the kitchen. There's not much I can do about, like, her bed stuff. But I can give her... The room she tends to spend the most time in right now is the living room. So I wanted to give her at least one new room in her life. And there it is. I got myself... The mattress under here is brand new. That's a $1,000+ mattress. Serta Sleeper. Although the bed frames... The adjustable bed frame under it is older. And the head broke last night. But I rarely ever moved it anyway. So it's not a huge deal. But...
Then Mr. here likes to spoil the heck out of me.
Yeah, I guess it's time to get myself an 80-inch Super HD TV now and mount it to the wall up there over the windows.
No.
So I can sit here and play video games.
No.
Because I only get a little 43-inch over there.
So
There's a
what?
65-inch back
Nice.
there. No, I gotta
No.
flex my manliness and put an
No.
80-inch over there.
No. I'm gatekeeping you from that. No.
But yeah, I've wanted to treat my mother and give her something nice, and so I also bought her a new laptop. It is a gaming laptop. I quotes because it is a Walmart gaming laptop. So it's stronger than your average laptop, but you know, it's nothing
It's not
compared. It's
Alienware.
nothing compared to even the lowest cyber power gaming laptop, but it's far more powerful than anything she'll ever need. It actually has a separate dedicated graphics card, it has a good amount of memory, has a nice hard drive. It's very powerful, more than what she needs. So, yeah, I gave my mother some money, so while we're gone, if she doesn't feel like cooking, she can order something. She's got enough probably to order 5 out of the 7 days. One meal, but then again, that's probably all she'll need. Not one meal a day. That's if she's not feeling like cooking. That'll be like it'll just be supper that she doesn't feel like cooking. Because she always makes herself breakfast and she always has a little lunch, which is fine. Just she can make a bologna sandwich. She makes toast and eggs in the morning. It's very simple stuff.
Yep.
So it'll be dinner. She doesn't feel like cooking. So
Mm-hmm.
anyhow, it's getting on 7 o'clock. I've got laundry I got to swap over because I want to get all of our laundry done so we can pack up everything that we want to take with us. I've got to finish straightening up this room. We need to shower, which we often do together. Yes, I like embarrassing her, but not too harshly. Not too harshly. Because she will kill me if I do.
Smothered in his favorite way.
Oh, hush. But, yeah. I mean, there's a couple more things I want to do, but it's all going to come down to the vacation, how well I recover from this emergency trip. The fact I was in a good position to make this emergency trip happen is really nice. But I want to recover from the emergency trip. I mean, I've still got plenty of money in the bank, but I don't want to be below a certain level before the trip, which is like a huge safety margin. There's the clock, bong, and 7. It's about a minute behind, and that's just because of the way I have it set. It actually keeps perfect time. I just got to nudge the
Minute hand.
yeah, I just got to nudge the big hand forward a minute, and it'll be fine.
It's just a notch.
Yeah, it's just going to be set forward a minute. Did that ring 7 times? I didn't count. It didn't sound like it. Maybe it did, and I just went. I'll keep. I'll listen to it. I'll listen for it at 8 o'clock and see if it bongs 8.
I don't know.
But
No,
yeah.
it's
Anyways, I've got a lot to do, and technically not a lot of time to do it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours. We leave in 6 hours. We'll be at the airport for a couple hours. Then it's a 2.5, 2 and 3/4 hour flight to Minneapolis. Then we pick up our vehicle, which this time I got an intermediate pickup truck. So it's going to be like a Tacoma or a Canyon or something like that. I didn't go with a full-size truck this time. Save a little money. It was only $150, not including fees and everything, which brought it. I like how you can. Oh yeah, you can rent this vehicle for $150 for 7 days. It's just going to cost you a total of $250 with all the taxes and fees and everything else. Hmm.
I almost want to like end off with like the funny story of what happened this morning.
Oh, we can do
It
that.
was funny to me.
I know, but we can do that another time.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went with the intermediate, which was $150 versus the big truck, which was almost 300. So yeah, it was a pretty big savings, and it's still a good sized vehicle. And the reason I got a truck is we may need a little extra hauling space, and I'd rather have the big truck or even elite one of the big SUVs. But just money wise, there's a big gap between the two. So I'd rather just stay with the intermediate. Besides, it'll be a little bit better on gas. It'll have either a 4 or 6 cylinder, so it'll be good on gas. But yeah, then we got a 3 hour drive to her hometown to her dad, or I think the wakes will be going on by the time we get there, won't it?
No, it's gonna start at like 4.
Oh, okay, so we'll have some time
I
to freshen
think.
up and meet with your dad and whatnot. So yeah, and I gotta shave my head too. So yay!
Yeah, it's 4 to 8.
I honestly thought that I honestly hoped I'd be done dealing with death for at least a while, and I guess maybe I was. After my wife passed away, I was done with it for about 5 years, 6 years. So that is a while, I guess. But not like this. Not, her mom, whose name was Darla, she's only 59. Um, and there's definitely health complications that I'm not going to go into. That's all personal stuff. But it was kind of like with my wife. It was unexpected, but when you think about what it is and what happened, it kind of wasn't. You didn't expect it to happen, but since it happened, you kind of knew that, well, yeah, kind of deal. So,
And yeah, I may be fine. I may seem fine now, but
it's like I said, you have the luxury of distance. Once you actually get there and meet your dad, things are going to let loose, and then you've got to actually deal with the wake, deal with the funeral. So, that's all
everything
going to
else.
really hit you. So, anyways, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Some good, some bad. But, you know, I didn't meet her mom very much. Only met her for a few days before um, the very first meeting. I was there for 3 days. And then I met her again for lunch, basically, when I took her back after the first visit. The second visit, she came on her own, so I didn't get to see her mom. So then when I drove up there, I was there for that about 6 days, 7 days. And, she's a really wonderful woman. I know she's facing a hard time with her daughter leaving, getting that empty nest syndrome and all that stuff going on, but she, I came to respect her and care about her quite a bit and how much she endured. And I got to be honest, after reading about her a bit more in her obituary, I had no clue how much this woman had done in her life. From 4-H leader, she did Girl Scouts too, yeah.
Um, no, that was me. I was part
Yeah,
of
but
the
she
Girl
was.
Scouts a little bit. She wasn't
Um,
a part of the leadership there.
but she did.
She was a school para.
Yep, and she taught Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
She was a nurse's assistant, or
Yep,
yeah,
she was
nurse's
a
assistant.
nursing.
She wasn't a full RN. She did quite a lot in the community, a lot. She was very, very active for a long time, and then she suffered quite a medical issue. Um,
There were two of them that significantly stand out, but otherwise,
but yeah, she did a lot. She's quite the amazing woman, more than I even knew until I read about her, and I really regret I didn't get to know her better. She actually was looking forward to coming up here to visit, to come and see her daughter one time. I think maybe even next year they were planning on it. And we had all agreed to have, when we decided to get married, to have the wedding up in Minnesota, up in that area up there. Um, because the mother really wanted to be there for it. And again, there's no way to predict that this was going to happen. You know, I hate to say it this way, sweetie, but when we left the pizza party on on that
Thursday.
day, we had no clue that that was going to be the last time. So, yeah,
The only thing that I'm glad about that I really don't, or that I'm glad, that words. The only thing I'm more glad about is the fact that my final words to her were not hateful, were not argument driven.
that's better than I ever did. My last words to my wife weren't hateful or anything, but she was upset about, I guess, wanting a sheet on the bed or a new sheet. And I was worried she was going to start a fight the way she was going, so I just kind of curled up and hoped that she would, you know, let it go. And she did. She laid down and went to sleep. I laid down and went to sleep, never saying anything else, just grateful that she wasn't going to start a fight. And then when I woke up, she was gone. So I didn't even have that luxury. But whether you have that luxury or not, it doesn't matter. It's still a loss. See, I told you my videos go up to an hour. But anyways, folks, I gotta end this. I really do. We've gotta. I gotta swap the laundry, get that going.
A
Actually,
lot
we
of
should
stuff I've
shower.
already mentioned.
We should shower first, so I can put these in there. Do you want that washed too? I think it's all right.
Yeah, it's alright. I don't need it washed.
Um, back to Minnesota a lot sooner than expected. It's been like in the. It actually one day hit the 70s here. It's been in the upper 50s and 60s lately in New England, and I just looked up Minnesota and it was 16, which
Yeah.
is where New England should have been. So yeah, back to the cold. But
Back to frigid, freezing cold. But
I will say one final thing. As cold as it is, I don't care if it's summer. I don't care if it's winter. Up there in Minnesota, in that country, in that incredibly flat land. And I'll tell you about a driving adventure someday. I don't have the time now. That incredibly flat land. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful out there. I love it. I love that it's still a lot of mom and pop style shops out there. I love that it's the only big businesses out there are the farms, huge farms. Otherwise, it's like mom and pop shops. There is a town about 30 minutes away that has the movie theaters and all the shopping centers and everything.
yep.
But where we are, it's just mom and pop stuff in the closest town, all local stuff, all country, mostly untouched. It's just it's absolutely beautiful out there. And you go to almost any convenience store and it's almost a truck stop. It's almost the same thing as a truck stop. It's a mini truck stop, not like a big truck stop. Which is one of the things I love about the road trip, to be honest, is all the truck stops. I think truck stops are fucking cool because you can go in there and find so many different things.
You would find everything you would find
But
in any
yeah,
store.
it's beautiful up there and I absolutely love it. But yeah, I gotta go, folks. So I'm gonna set this video to upload probably after when we come back to start cleaning and whatnot. But otherwise, folks, that's gonna be me for this vlog. For the I think all of 8 of you that watch it, I do appreciate the few of you sticking with me. I don't know if I'll ever get back into streaming or not. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But until then, folks, I am one big bugga. This is my girlfriend. She likes to go by Crazy Chick. I couldn't agree more. Until next time.